Today I will show the meanings, ideas, and artists of the Romantic art period and the changes that it made. Do you ever wonder how art became the way it is today? Romanticism helped open the eyes of artists and the people of the Western world. Art pre-Romanticism was based on religion. Artists painted Jesus, saints, and other religious icons. It was not made for enjoyment. Pre-Romantic art was paid for by the rich and other nobles, and also was made just for cathedrals and other religious temples. The definition by the Art History Archive of Romanticism is an artistic and intellectual movement that emphasized on a revolution against established values such as social and religion. It started in the late 18th century and carried on into the 19th century. The subjects that caused the Romantic art period was revolutions that were happening in the U.S., France, and Spain, other wars in Western Europe, and the Industrial Revolution. The motto, which isn't literal, was out with religion and in with open-mindedness. This open-minded thought brought new subjects. Nature, emotions, folk art, and exotic were just to name a few. Painters of the nature, landscape, and fantasy were both English artists Thomas Cole and John Constable. Painters that painted revolution, war, and nightmares was Francisco Goya, who was a Spanish painter, and Eugene Delacroix, who was French. A folklore painter was Henry Fuseli, who was a German-born English painter. Each artist had his own style. I will now explain the artist style in detail. Altogether, these styles made up what Romanticism is. First off, we have Thomas Cole's romantic landscape with a ruined tower. This is a very surreal painting. It has much contrast with the light, airy look of the clouds and the sea, but then we have this dark, ruined tower to the right and bottom corner. It has a lot of contrast and is a very dramatic landscape. Next, we have John Constable's Wivenhoe Park. It is a very peaceful painting. It is very realistic, but it is very surreal at the same time. The clouds look airy and beautiful, and so does this peaceful landscape that is going on. This is different for this period of time because more and more realistic happened instead of just interpreting a religious part of it. The next painting I have is by Francisco Goya, called The 3rd of May, 1880. It is about the revolution in Spain. It is very dark. It shows casualties towards the bottom and a man about to die by the Spanish army. This is one of the famous paintings about revolution of this time. Another painting by Francisco Goya was this, Saturn devouring his son. It is delusional and demented. It is very nightmarish. That was what Francisco Goya was doing at this point in time. He was painting nightmares. It is very dark, and there's a lot of contrast where you can just see Saturn eating his son. This is another revolutionary painting. This is Eugene Delacroix's Liberty Leading the People. This is the French Revolution that is going on. It is not as drastic as Francisco Goya's painting. You can still see the casualties, but they are not as bloody. And it brings more hope and will to win than Francisco Goya's because she's leading them, showing the pride of their flag. The last painting I am showing is Henry Fuseli's The Nightmare. This is a picture of an incubus taking over a woman. This is also a nightmarish type painting. It's dark feeling. There's this horse that shows this icon of her dream. It is very, very contrasting, but it is a very beautiful painting. Art was very drastic and revolutionary during the Romantic period. Many different styles and subjects were defined during this time. Meanings of art were to be interpreted instead of to look at literally.